Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan battle video. So we just got a couple of new EZA TURs added into the game. Very, very hype ones, right? Vegito Blue and STR Rose. And we also had the LR Vegeta and Trunks introduced into the game as well. Since the last time I've sort of done one of these tier lists, right? And that, I think, has affected some of these characters as well, right? So, let's go ahead and jump in. Again, I don't feel like we need any other characters added to this list. Like, we're looking good right here. Number 10, I have Int UI Goku right here. Now, Int UI Goku, is unrunnable, in his base form. This right here, this is just not, enough anymore. Like, this is weak. He does stack, but he stacks up pretty slow. This is just, like, awful. Like, if you're using this character in any tough content, Pure Saiyan Extreme Super Battle Road, which is like a year old now, you know, this guy gets crushed in their base form. It's after he transforms that he gets very good, right? Because especially for like a Super Battle Road stage or Battlefield or something like that, you have the first turn of the guaranteed dodge, which is just so very effective, right? Like, that's very powerful. Guaranteed dodge. And then, of course, he's still stacking, and then he has 70% chance to dodge afterwards. If you're able to transform into this guy, I've found that this guy can be very effective in red zone stages, Super Battle Road, Battlefield, all these types of content. If you want to talk about, like, Legendary Vegeta event or something like that, you know, one of these, like, 20-turn fights, you know, he's going to be stacking as well. So, UI Goku can be good in a variety of content, even though he is very weak before he transforms. At number 9, I have Physical Omega here. Now, Physical Omega is very powerful. I probably would put him higher up. He doesn't really have a spot. This is going to be a thing right now for a lot of characters, is that, you know, you have, like, sort of, like, the new teams that are in. 200% leader skills, very powerful teams, right? Where it's like, okay, this character, you know, I don't know, Tech Vegito Blue, right, has got multiple 200% teams, multiple top tier brand new leads, you know, that he can be run on. Then you get characters like Omega here, where it's like, you don't really have a great spot for him. Omega can be very effective in the future, but right now he's kind of just like locked behind not really having a good spot to run, right? This is why when they do villain 200% leads, like, they gotta make them Ginyu level, not Raditz level. It's very important. This guy can be very good in, like, Super Battle Road stages, though. He's got his debuff. You know, he, of course, can build up and be very powerful. This guy, fully built up, is able to hit very, very big stats. Especially if he's paired up with, like, the Tex and Shenron. This guy can be very, very powerful. Alright, so we have Omega at 9. Next, at number 7, we have Agl Super 17. This is a character that, I mean, he's probably better in, like, Red Zone than he is in, like, Super Battle Road, right? Probably. But he could still be good in a lot of different places. This guy, fully built up, I've found him to be more effective in the Red Zone than his LR version. The LR version takes way more damage than this guy does. It's actually pretty pathetic. I feel like LR Super 17, they might as well just have given him, like, a build-up damage reduction ability. I mean, he's just one of the worst. LR Super 17 might be, like, a top 5 worst design unit ever, right? Like, his design was just, it's criminal what they did to him. But at least this guy, you know, was very good on release when he first got his EZA back in August of 2020. And then, you know, he's still effective. And we're closing in on 2 years. Right, like, I used this guy was fighting Red Zone Broly for me. I had him against Red Zone Omega. Like, we're talking about the toughest fights in the game, and this guy was working great on the Cell team. You maybe could even put him up higher. What is next? Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta? You know what? I think I want to do this. I do. Yeah, I think I am going to do that, actually. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is very powerful. But, okay, so, like, one of his biggest strengths would be using him against Omega, right? Because, you know, he's got the 70% chance to dodge and counter, these super attacks, right? Omega has, you know, this, like, insta-kill attack, basically. But Gogeta's tech, which I don't know, Gogeta is not good enough defensively, I feel like, to really be able to go in there against, like, Omega and be very, very comfortable. I don't know. This guy is good. But it's like, you know, you do need this built up, so it's like you kind of want him on rotation, which, I mean, I guess it is for 5 turns, but I don't know. I found this guy to be good, but there's just, like, better units to run. He is powerful, but I don't know. I feel like they could have given him potentially a little bit more. I feel like I am comfortable, especially after AGL Cell's release. I feel like I'm comfortable putting Super 17 right there. I do. Yeah. I'm okay with that. Yep, that's fine. Okay, next. Str Ultimate Gohan comes in. Now, starting from Str Ultimate Gohan moving forward, all of these EZATURs are designed in a similar way, which means you need RNG to go your way. People are going to probably defend some of these characters more than others, right? Based upon what character you like more, you know, who's more hype, like Vegito, stuff like that. But a lot of these top EZATURs are designed in a similar fashion, which is like, if you have a bunch of circumstances going your way, they're very good, right? Like, Ultimate Gohan right here has a high chance to guard, and then he's supporting a certain category. We're going to see that this is going to be a theme, again, with a lot of these top EZATURs, where it's like, if things go your way for the character, like, any one of these, like, top 5 or 6 can be, you know, pretty much the most effective. This guy's really good, right? When the guard is up and his support is going in, you know, he's able to stack up so he can get to some at least reasonable damage. He's good. But, you know, it's, you guys know, the coin flip doesn't go your way and you get body bagged is essentially how it's going to go, with Ultimate Gohan right there. So next, we are actually going to go ahead and pull in Turles. Now, I actually was very close to putting Ultimate Gohan above Turles as well, but I do feel like Turles' upper limits are probably higher than what Ultimate Gohan can do. Because remember, when you transform, he does stack, right? So it's like, I don't know, let's think about this. You're fighting Omega, Red Zone Omega. You take a lot of damage turn 1, right? And then Turles is on the second turn. You auto-transform into the boost, right? You know, you double super while he's getting his stacks. And then even the normal Turles can get a lot more powerful once that happens. But again, do you follow what we're doing here? You need certain things like RNG to just go your way, right? Like, if we go into the fight and Turles is in the second turn, and, you know, then the transformation happens, and whabam, you know, now we're a lot better. Now we could stack up. Now we could build up more. Turles also has a problem of partners right now, which is why I have him where he is. There's not, like, some mega top-tier character that's going to bring out Turles' full power that we're running him with on a team. LR Turles can be okay, an okay unit, but that's not... that's like a fringe red zone character, and only in some of the weaker stages too. Turles just doesn't have what he needs to be mega effective at the moment, right? Like a great partner. Like, I don't know, like if they dropped like a DOKKANFEST Great Ape Turles or something like that, I don't know. Like this guy would become so nasty, but you know, there's only so much we could do for some of these characters, right? They don't really have good setups. And it's like, you could run Turles on the Ginyu team, but like, it's not full power Turles on the Ginyu team. Because if you're correctly running that Ginyu Force team, you're really not probably having a lot of Big Bad Boss's characters. Like, that team is way more effective when it's full Ginyu Force than if you, like, just shoehorn, like, full power Frieza and some other Big Bad Boss's unit on there. It's better. The team is better if you're not, like, slamming in one of these Big Bad Boss's characters. So it's like, you could run Turles on that team, but it's going to be a Turles probably without Big Bad Bosses, without Destroyer of the Universe, without Thirst for Conquest, right? I mean, look at the level of buffs he gets from these links, right? Like, it's a huge difference for this guy when he's got a legitimate partner versus when he doesn't. I like his design, right? Good for Super Battle Road right here, right? He has the debuff. His support is really good. He's got stun. He can stack as well. So he's got all the tools he needs. He just doesn't have the help as of right now, right? Which we could say about a lot of characters in the game, right? Turles, to me, I think of Turles very similarly to how I think of LR Janemba or like STR Kid Buu. These are characters that could actually be like potentially even top 10 in the game contenders Dokkan just decided to give them a perfect partner, right? I think all three of those characters are kind of like on that same level, like bubbling characters that it's like, you know, in a wank situation where it doesn't matter, right? Like you could bring like, you know, LR Turles to make this guy look good, cool, but if you're fighting like, you know, Omega, Broly, Bojack, these tough bosses, you have to be very, very cautious. All right, so next here, I would actually bring in AGL Evolution Blue Vegeta. This guy is very good. I found him to be incredibly effective in a lot of the red zone fights, especially after he transforms. He is very good defensively, capable of tanking even like red zone Omega and a lot of that level of bosses. Depending upon the RNG, with him getting his additional supers, he could do a lot of damage too. Again, notice with all these top characters, there's a huge amount of RNG for like how good they're all going to be, right? You know, if this guy's triple supering every turn, he's doing a lot of damage, and his defense is going to be a lot better as well, since he's getting defense right there. But this is just like this Vegeta is just a very strong unit, right? Like he's a prepared for battle Saiyan that, you know, is probably not going to struggle for ki too often. He'll be able to do good damage with good defense, right? Like very, very sort of like basic, just powerful character. Next, I actually have STR Rose. Now, STR Rose, like, I get it, right? Like, again, we talk about, like, RNG going your way. STR Rose with this up is, like, God, because he's doing 9 million attack stats, super effective against all types, while giving this support, and he's above 500k defense. He is God when he finishes an enemy, but this is not, it's hilarious seeing people talk about it, like, oh, he'll do a lot of damage, he'll be able to finish enemies off easily. It's like, dude, like, you go into one of these tough fights, and there's 3 phases, right? Like, it's like, if you don't get lucky and finish off that first phase, like, he's probably not finishing it off. Like, Rose could do okay damage before he transforms, but he's not doing 7th anniversary LR damage. He's not doing AGL Cell damage, right? Like those level of characters. So it's like, you're probably not finishing enemies off with this guy. The other thing too, like one reason why I'd put this guy above like Turles right now is this guy does actually have a much better partner than Turles, and that is this guy right here. Is actually fairly competent, right? I went into Red Zone Omega, which I would probably argue is the 2nd hardest fight in the game, and I beat him using a rotation essentially of this Goku Black and STR Rose, right? That was my rotation. Now it's helped out that the Omega fight has an STR phase, so it was a little bit easier for me to put this guy in slot 1, but I mean, this guy, if things go your way with him too, right? This guy, where you're able to build this up without getting like absolutely blasted by a super attack right away or something like that, this guy could be okay too. So we can run these two together. They have 6 out of 7 links. They're both supporting each other. They could be very powerful, right? Turles doesn't have a character like that Goku Black. That Goku Black is probably better than LR Turles, right? LR Turles, like, people get too caught up on damage with these characters, right? When it's like damage ages out quick, right? Oh, good, you did a 9 million attack stat that like the whole rest of the team can also do. Except now you get hit and we lost, right? Like, don't overrate damage too much for a lot of these characters. Like, I think it's better to have a nice balance, doing good damage while really being able to take hits or having some tech like the Scouter, guard, heal, stacking, right? You do want to be balanced on a lot of these characters, right? Rose's good. I would actually say he's a bit underwhelming before this is procced, but if you get this off, he is crazy. Now, I was using him against Red Zone Omega, and he double-digit tanked Red Zone Omega even without the final blow buff. I was not able to get it. Like, when I was running this guy in Red Zone content, at no point have I ever finished an enemy off in there with him. It's not, that mechanic is ass, right? But it's like, if you can get it off, he's gonna be really crazy. He's very powerful. Now, number 2, we have Tech Vegito Blue. Again, all these characters, man, it's like, you know, they can be really good, but like if RNG goes your way, they can be even better. So this guy is very, what's funny about this guy is he's actually very similar to Namek Goku. If you think of Namek Goku, Vegito has got a lot of similarities in how he performs. Namek Goku, though, oftentimes when I'm using him turn 1, his 12 key supers will be at about a 7 million attack stat, whereas this Vegito, his attack stats are like 1 million, right? Like turn 1. Because he needs to really build up his attack. The thing, though, about Namek Goku between this Vegito is that I feel like their defense potentially is like a similar level turn 1, although Vegito is probably higher because this is a multiplicative buff right here. It actually is. At one point in the data download, it looked like it wasn't, but they fixed it. So this is a true 50% like, buff when attacking, right? But this guy has a way better chance of launching additional super attacks than Namek Goku does. Because this guy has 2 guaranteed additionals right here. Both guaranteed. So you can have this guy attacking 4 times often. Now, then it's just a matter of how lucky are you, right? The first 2 supers have a 30% chance of being a super, and then you have the hidden potential system additional at the end, right? Whereas like Namek Goku, in slots 2 and 3, which is where you're running him, you're not running him in slot 1, you have the 30% chance to do a guaranteed additional super. Namek Goku's is not written in the way you want it, right? Which is where it's an additional that has a chance of being a super. The reason that's better is because when it's written like that, you're going to get your hidden potential system additional way more often because you're going to do that guaranteed additional, which then has a chance to proc your hidden potential system additional as well. See, here's Namek Goku's, right? He gets the medium chance of additional super as 2nd or 3rd attacker in a turn, but you want it written as guaranteed additional, which has a chance of being a super, right? But Vegito, you could get really lucky. Vegito doesn't get targeted with super attacks early on. You're able to stack up, right? It's great. He does 3 supers every single turn, and he becomes a monster, right? I used this guy against Red Zone Broly. He performed very well, right? Like, you could easily beat Red Zone Broly, and this guy can carry a large portion, because, he's got type advantage against Broly's final phase. But, like, or, it could happen where turn 1, the enemy supers him, and you instantly die, because this guy has beyond pathetic defense turn 1. You gotta get a couple of super attacks in, before this guy is really able to tank, right? Very good, but like all these characters right here, like all these characters are like this, right? If we look at all these guys, it's like you need something to go your way, right? This guy needs to be getting his additional supers. Rose has to deal a finishing blow. This guy needs to be getting his additional supers. This guy needs to transform early, right, and get his stacks in. This guy needs his guard to proc. They're all built in a similar way, where it's like, so like people... if you're a Vegito fan, you can, in your mind, be talking about the wanked version of this guy and say, he's number 1. If you're a Turles fan, you could, in your head, be thinking of the wanked Turles situation and say, he's number 1. All of these guys have these really big swings on how good your luck is in any given run, right? And then the guy who doesn't have to deal with that is Future Gohan, who I think is clearly number 1. With the addition of Vegeta and Trunks into this game, Future Gohan, I think, soars way past the other guys. I would almost say I think that there's a gap. Like, I do think we could almost probably do this right here and add in a gap at this point. I could. Because unlike Vegito, who could either be really good or really bad, same thing with Rose and a lot of these guys, Future Gohan, it's simple. You run him on that Vegeta and Trunks team, and Future Gohan is tanking everything, right? This guy is taking no damage from all these toughest bosses in the game. Early on, he'll take more, right, when he's only got the 37% damage reduction turn 1. But once a couple of these turns pass by, man, he's good. So it's like this guy... I don't know if I'll do a list for the EZA TURs. I am actually going to delete this, but I don't know if I'm going to do a list for, I don't know if I'm going to do a list for DOKKANFEST TURs right now. I might wait until, like, probably about exactly a month, because the next DOKKANFEST TUR should be, like, July 30th or something like that. Int Majin Vegeta, just like Physical Future Gohan, would explode on my list. He would be going up many spots, because I think Int Majin Vegeta and Physical Future Gohan, it's like they got what they needed to make them up there. It's like if Turles, again, we get like a Great Ape Turles DOKKANFEST who's perfect for him, Turles would shoot up. LR Janemba, Kid Buu, these characters, right, would explode with a perfect partner. Future Gohan got his perfect partner, right? So, like, this is what happens when one of these guys gets their perfect partner. Majin Vegeta got his perfect partner, right? So, like, he would have jumped way up on my list, right? He feels a lot more like a 200% leader with Vegeta and Trunks in the game as compared to before, right? So, that's good. So, let me know what you guys think. Let me take a look at this. Yeah, I don't have an issue with this. Again, remember that spots 2 through 6, I feel like you probably could slide a lot of them around, but they all are so RNG heavy. All 5 of these guys, huge RNG factors into them, right? Into how good they would be on any given run, right? So, like, that's a big, keep that in mind. I think 7 through 10, like, I feel like, I don't know, I was going to say there's maybe a gap between, I don't know. I was going to say maybe is there a gap between Super 17 and Ultimate Gohan? I'd probably say no. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of the top EZATURs. Physical Future Gohan is really that good. Go use him in Red Zone. You guys will see. He tanks well. Even without a Trunks, he can tank Broly and these tough bosses, right? But especially if you're using him on the Vegeta and Trunks team, that boy is cooking. He is not taking damage. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.